Good morning. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jack Benjamin, and I'm very pleased to welcome all of you here to this, 33rd Users Conference. Pretty interesting, huh? Do you like San Diego? Yeah, it's pretty good. I think so. Look, we have a lot of special people here in the audience, about 12,000 of you. It's pretty good. And my job is not only to welcome you, but also give you a little bit of an introduction to the reason why we are here. This slide suggests that we are going to learn together. And that means we're going to learn from each other. We're going to teach each other. We're going to pick up some ideas, make some new friends, have some fun. That's kind of what the whole purpose of the conference is. And to begin that, I always like to have you meet somebody else near you. And before you do that, I'll simply say you are from 130 different countries all over the planet. Some developed, some undeveloped, some big cities, some small cities, some big organizations, some small organizations, some, well, just about every different discipline that you can imagine. So, all right, with that introduction, why don't you take a minute and turn to your side, introduce yourself to a neighbor, tell them who you are. Okay, good. Thank you. Great. Thank you. Perfect. Now, I want you to do that all the time during this next week. Every time you start a session, meet somebody new. That's what this whole meeting is about, reinforcing this global community of GIS professionals and what you do. As I mentioned, you're from almost every background. And for the last 3 weeks, I've been going through materials that you've sent me, thousands and thousands of maps, and they are pretty impressive. I've collected just a few of them to share with you, but they're humbling in terms of the work that you are doing on the planet. You're working in almost every field. I'll just mention a few of them. Monitoring environmental change, looking at climate change, and the impact of that on just about everything else. Permafrost reduction, species change, sea level rise. On the other hand, some of you are managing natural resources, forests, agriculture, aquaculture, water. These two maps on the right I really like because they show similar kinds of activities, but one in Texas, one in South Sudan. The purpose of this meeting is also for you guys to not only become friends, but share best practices on what you're doing. Interesting. Some of you are measuring and remediating environmental contamination. This little red map shows the huge Superfund site in Florida that's been remediated. It's the largest in the United States, ongoing for about 11 years. Some of you are developing energy resources. The traditional ones, extractive industries like oil and gas and now shale, and others working on renewables, wind, solar, everything. Managing land records is essential for us on the planet. It's a foundation for our civil society. And lots of you are doing that, but also using that same parcel information to do lots of other things, from real estate in Russia to environmental studies in the Philippines, and on and on. Many of you are planning for designing the future, looking at urban gardens and urban design and urban redevelopment and regional planning and putting that into zoning administrations. In Antarctica, some of you are doing marine spatial planning and coastal zone management in India. Transportation planning and modeling, this is essential for us. And you're doing it in air and ships and, I say from buses to bikes. The map in the center from Prague showing the ridership of transportation transit usage is interesting. But the little map in the lower right by the post office here in San Diego is my favorite, showing mail delivery optimization. Very cool. Utilities, telecommunications, public works. Here my favorite map is the City of Los Angeles's waste shed modeling. They're doing this so that they can allocate waste sheds to different private sector trash haulers or pickers up or whatever you call them. And the other one that I like is that pole inspection application that's now running at PG&E and every worker's thing. They're using mobile device apps to observe things and fix things. GIS is moving into buildings, into campuses, into interiors, bringing in the whole BIM model environment. And thanks to our friends at GIS Inc., we even have an indoor GIS for the convention center. So if you're lost here and you want to get from room to room, you can get this app and do it. GIS is definitely affecting business, retail. This beautiful map from Harley-Davidson here shows dealer management or dealership location optimization. But in marketing and insurance, in real estate, all of these fields are supported. GIS is making a huge difference in understanding human health, understanding how we do it, like this Medicare map of costs in the United States. The Gates Foundation is helping eradicate polio using GIS in Nigeria. And at the micro scale, we're unraveling the mysteries of DNA using the same spatial analytic tools that we do for larger geographies. Your work in law enforcement and public safety, making our communities safer, being more responsive, being able to do analytics of crime and other sorts of patterns. And I was particularly attracted to this map showing space debris where it might possibly fall out of the sky. Responding to natural disasters is a serious thing, and there's a whole bunch of things right now. People up in Alberta that wanted to be here, they sent this morning their email, please tell them we're out here doing it with the floods in Calgary. But flood risks, flood effects, earthquakes, fires, ice storm, the superstorm that happened on the east coast of the United States was an effort by many of you working at different levels of geography, sharing information, and responding. Just great work. I noticed in the materials that you sent me that there's more citizen engagement, 311, information coming into government, making government more responsive. And also, government is sharing what they're doing, not only with the open data movements, but also with services, like showing budget transparency, or even where best to vote. Cartography is improving, and right after lunch we're going to show you a video that shows the last 30 years of maps in the map books, from when it used to be black and white, and then with color, and then larger and more. It's going to be very interesting, so make sure you come back from lunch on time. But these maps show just some excellent work, especially in the Czech Republic. But the map here I want to call your attention to is the one on automatic generalization. This is done by the Dutch Cadastre. They've saved millions of euros in the manufacturing of their 1 to 50,000 maps by taking their 1 to 10,000s and doing automatic generalization. They've now got a timely delivered map, and I mean, it's just incredible what they did. Story maps are a new kind of medium, and many of you have embraced these app patterns, pouring maps and narrative and other multimedia into these and making them available. Right now this week, the Tour de France is going, so people are using their little, iPhones, or let's see, smart devices, taking pictures. So check it out at lunch. It's very cool. Organizational portals are also a pattern that we're seeing a lot of to provide citizen access, making government, again, more responsive or engaged with citizens, but also government infrastructure, shared information, between different government entities. And then there's the whole open data movement. I'm very excited about this one in Peru, which has opened up all of their geologic and mineral information for download by industry there. And then internally, lots and lots and lots of organizations like Shell, Verizon, they're getting all their own information together and sharing it and making their organizations more efficient. Well, listen, these are all good pieces of work, and I'd like to acknowledge all of you and particularly thank you for sending me these maps. Very, very exciting work. So thank you. Each year, we recognize a series of users with something we call Special Achievements and GIS Awards, and this year, these are the ones that have received that award domestically and these internationally. And if I could, I'd like to have all of you who received a SAG award please stand up at this time. Let's acknowledge them in the right way. It's nice to get acknowledgement, doesn't it feel good? I always like it, once in a while. But the purpose of acknowledgement like this is not simply to make us feel good, but it's to put a spotlight on good practices. And so those people that were standing up, take notice of them because they've got good footprints. They represent 0.1% of our several 100,000 organizations around the world, and their work is just stellar. So thank you. We're going to have a celebration on Wednesday afternoon. You're all invited if you'd like to come and help acknowledge these people further. This year we're giving several special awards. The first one is Making a Difference Award, and this is for Jack Weinberg. Jack Weinberg developed something that some of you know about called the Dartmouth Atlas. And this is a very special piece of research. Jack himself is a member of the National Academy of Sciences. He's a member of the Institute of Medicine. He's a special guy. But he invented this notion of looking at healthcare practices, and he proved that cost and quality and the outcomes of your healthcare vary based on what? Based on location. This is a stunning thing. Jack, could you come up and receive this award for us, please? Thank you. Great pleasure. Yeah, we got to take a photo here. Good, thank you. Thank you. Want to say anything?
Just let me say that tracking medicine has been a great career, and maps have helped a lot.
Oh, that's good. That's short and sweet.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack.
And I'd also like to thank my colleagues at Dartmouth who made this all work. It's a group process. It's not just one person.
Well, you had a lot to do with it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Our second award this year is the Enterprise GIS Award, and this is being given this year to the Hong Kong Lands Department. This is absolutely the most successful, from my perspective, large city urban GIS infrastructure development that I've ever seen. Well, Dominic Hsu, could you come up with perhaps yourself or anybody else you want to bring along? Oh, yes. Okay, here we go. Let's acknowledge it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello. I guess we'll take a photo. Should we put this in here? Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I need to tell you that this is, some of you know Hong Kong. It's 3D. They have a lot of people living there.
Right.
They have transactions going on there constantly with respect to ownership and leases and zoning and everything. And from my perspective, really, Dominic, this has been just an amazing thing to watch you guys grow it. It's a showcase. Anybody visiting Hong Kong, you should definitely go to see Dominic. But anyway, Dominic, thank you. Did you want to say something?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Jack. I'm very pleased to be here to receive the award from Jack on behalf of the Lands Department of the Hong Kong government. We start off with the LIS project back in the 90s. And a few years ago, we implemented second generation land information system. And I take this opportunity to thank all my colleagues who are involved in the project. Although they are not here, but I'm sure that we'll take some video back and let them see.
Thanks, Dominic. Thank you, by the way. Congratulations. Yeah. Thank you. I'll meet you later. Good. Thanks. Very good. The final prize and award is my award. And this year it's being given to an organization called Direct Relief. I doubt that many of you heard of this organization, but this is an organization who is set up, it's up in Santa Barbara, redistributes hundreds of millions of dollars every year of medicines and equipments to populations in need. They're working in 70 countries. Perhaps you've heard about the mission, getting from all the medical companies very cheap or donations of products and then distributed to people, social targeting. So this year I'd like to invite Dorothy Largay. Are you here? And also Andrew Schroeder, the GIS genius of all time, behind this organization up. When they're coming, I'm just going to say that this organization, according to Forbes, is the most efficient NGO with over 99% efficiency. And I'm very proud to say that they're using GIS for, well, targeting, transparency, logistics. It's just amazing. So congratulations to you guys. Yeah, it's great. You guys deserve it. These people are doing what I would say God's work. I mean, literally taking the best that we have and distributing it to the people that really need it. So I don't know, Dorothy, are you going to talk or give a speech or?
Well, just a few words.
Okay.
When we invested in GIS 4 years ago, we didn't realize how it would literally transform the way we're now able to reach millions of people.
That's neat.
So on behalf of those millions of people, thank you.
Oh.
And for the millions of people who also need help, keep those apps, tools, and services coming.
Okay. We'll do our best. Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks. You're my hero.
Thanks. You're mine.
Thanks.